Shoot, I don't have my script.
You don't need the script. I know
I
you know
do.
this. Well, hey, everyone, welcome to the Stretch 10 podcast. I tried to give you as much time where we share experiences.
And
What
some
is it?
encouragement as
Yep.
two men trying not thriving in the 21st century. I'm Shannon, a pastor, a coffee shop owner, and an author.
And my name is Joel, a former pastor, now tech professional and author. Shannon, you ready?
Let's go.
Also, you look great.
Thank you.
Is that a do you call them white? No, you don't call them wife beaters anymore. Is that a tank top underneath your shirt? Yes. Gosh, it looks good. Your traps have just continued to chisel out and look nicer and nicer. So now when you wear shirts, they just sit on those traps real nice. They
Stop.
look good.
What are my traps? What am I talking? What are you talking about? Is that our here?
Yeah, those are up here. Those are right in between your shoulder blade and your neck. The best way to describe it. Those are your traps. Boom. And
Well,
it
thanks,
always
Joel.
looks good.
Your traps look great too, man.
Stop. You don't have to give it back. It's okay. You can just receive it. You can just receive it.
Okay, I'll receive it. That's funny because I don't think I've been in the gym one day this week.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
It's just been that crazy.
No, I think I think I hurt something. Well, I know I hurt something.
Well, that's right. You were talking about the bicep slash like inside your lat. It was your lat.
It was right here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's your lat. Ooh.
But you
What
know
did
what? I
you do?
think I
Was it
figured
after
it out.
pull-ups?
No, it was after it was after swinging an axe, cutting a tree down in the backyard.
That's literally like a guy at the gym who he said like he's hurt right here in his kind of forearm bicep connection, and he was like, I think I heard it fishing slash I was cutting my grass and I knocked over, like in some people's backyards, especially in new developments, they have those like drains out of nowhere. They'll just have drains with a huge concrete slab on top, and
Hmm.
then there's opening on either side. But apparently they're not really secured. They're just precariously perched, and they stay there because of the weight of the concrete pushing down onto the support. Well, he knocked it over with his he had clipped it with his lawnmower, his like ride lawnmower. And so he said he was picking it up, and he thinks that it was just like grabbing that heavy thing of concrete and trying to pick it up with his arm, like exasperated from the fishing is what like blew it up. So it's so funny. You never really, when you're working out, you're never in the gym like hitting a huge weight and you're like, oh, my back or my chest or my arms. It's I'm gonna cut down a tree, and then your body says, no, you're not.
Well, Saturday, there's an old Japanese maple that looked just hideous in our backyard, and so I sawed it down, but I didn't saw it all, get to the stump. And so Sunday afternoon, I go out with a mattock, and I'm swinging at the root of it, and I'm digging it up, and I get it up, and it's great. And I wake up Monday morning, and I have like I'm burning, like it feels like a muscle burn, and so I'm like, dang. So I messaged my wife's aunt, who's a physical therapist, and I'm like, have I torn a muscle? Turns out, talking to my trainer, which he said, I think it's a nerve issue, and he gave me some videos to do. It's called nerve flossing. Is that
Yes,
it's
yes.
and so like he showed me some videos, and I'm sitting here and I'm doing this,
Yep,
and I'm
yep.
telling you, day one, it got better. Like so, I today's better than yesterday. Yesterday was better than the day before. I just didn't go in the gym. I've just been doing stuff at home, in my living room floor, and early in the just this week.
Nice. That
It's a thing.
I, this week has been weird for me. I've been switching up my Sundays because I joked with the guy at the gym that it takes a lot of work. There's always everyone will say it. It takes a lot of work to just be an average CrossFitter, uh, especially an above average CrossFitter, because you hit a point where you're like, I guess I could get better at this, or I could get stronger, and you only have so much time in your day and your week and everything. So you have to figure out when are you going to do it. And so for me, Sundays are my extra lifting day. I'll do squats of some sort, deadlift of some sort, bench of some sort, and I'll run. That's been like my day. And McGinnis will join me from time to time. It's fun, but I did that Sunday and I wasn't feeling great. And then Monday wasn't feeling great. And then Wednesday rolled around and I was trying to deadlift and I just couldn't do it. Like, this is not a flex, but 375 felt like it was 500 pounds. I couldn't even get 400 pounds off the ground for one. And I just couldn't activate my legs. And so I went literally just now. I just got back from getting some PT done and getting some shock therapy where they'll like needle your body and then they'll send shocks into it to activate the muscles to fatigue them. And then I got some cupping done. And it, just like you're saying, it feels so much better. But I now am like, all right, I got to get this handled because sometimes it flares up and it's just the most annoying thing. And it's all lower back, messes with me. And it's tied apparently also to my ankle flexibility because I played a lot of basketball in high school and college and rolled my ankle like all the time. So I can bend my ankle more than most people who have had as many injuries as me, but it's causing that like it's ricocheting up into, or it's as like the progression of causation is now my back and my hip and my on my right side because of my right ankle. So gym, man.
Translation, you're also getting old.
Yeah, it's just the gym
So do you
and
work? Do you
getting
take a
older.
day? Do you do a rest day at all? Do you work out every day?
I took a rest day today, but that's because I have the High Rocks thing tomorrow. No, if on a given week, if all things are happen kind of usual routine, Sunday lifting, Monday CrossFit, Tuesday CrossFit, Wednesday CrossFit, Thursday maybe rest day, Friday CrossFit, Saturday CrossFit, maybe.
So
But
you're every
now,
day. You're 7 days.
yep. So basically, but it's not. The difference though is I think it is something to be said about you do hit a threshold of fitness and health that you're not going to be at risk of hurting yourself. And you also, if you eat well, you're fine. That's the difference too. Is like you can overeat or you can also undereat. And so that's the balance. Is you can exercise now, hopefully not super hard every day, but you also hit a point of fitness where like what's super hard for you. Obviously, you shouldn't go red line every single day. You're not running sprints every day, right? But what is super hard is running a mile. If you're someone who, not saying this is me, but if you're someone who works out 7 days a week and you're fit, if on one of the days you run a mile, is that really that terrible, super hard, intense, or is it basically like an active recovery? You know, so I don't like. I'm my jury's still out. I'm not someone who thinks you should exercise hard every day. I do believe in rest days, but I also believe in like it's good to move. It's good to do something. And then also there's body dysmorphia, right? And your body dysmorphia says, "Oh, if you didn't work out today, you're going to turn into a balloon." So, exactly. So,
Yeah.
who knows?
No, I do. I don't. I typically take Saturday and Sunday off, but this week with not doing as much, I'm feeling like I probably. I feel like I'm definitely ready. I've really looked at the beginning of August as sort of like I got to get back in.
Like your reset.
June, yeah, June, July have been really tough months, but August is a new beginning. In fact, it's the 8th month of the year, and I was looking at this last night that the number 8 in Scripture is often associated with new beginnings. So, calling it, man, a new
There
beginning
you
in
go.
August.
I am
You,
also going to be starting on August. I'm going to go back to a deficit for a caloric deficit just for a month. I want to do it for August to kind of reset too. So that's funny that we're both doing that. Anyway, sorry. What were you going to say?
I was going to ask you because you mentioned it. You're doing the high rocks. So,
Well,
for what is that?
so there, yeah. So some gyms can become High Rocks affiliates, and as a High Rocks affiliate, you can host a High Rocks simulation. There's no intense judging. There's no awards. There's no whatever, right? Like it's just a simulation of what a High Rocks would look like with the flow, and a High Rocks is, it is the fastest growing end quote sport. It's really just an event, but it's the fastest growing fitness movement in the world because it is easily replicatable. It is low barrier of entry, and it's fun because it's just like it's kind of tapping into that fitness craze in quotes that a lot of younger people are now are into. It's really funny how that's kind of swung pendulum wise, like especially Gen Z's driving and driving this fitness thing, and a lot of actually millennials who are now these young parents who are trying to figure out Okay, what's my thing now? Right? They had a thing before they got married. Then they got married and they enjoyed that. And then they had kids. And then now they're in this phase of their 30s or so, in like early 40s, where they're going, okay, what's my thing? Like, I feel like I need something. So a
Hmm.
lot of them are turning towards fitness. And so High Rocks has exploded. I mean, they are massive events. Like, if you look at High Rocks, there's High Rocks Madrid, there's High Rocks Atlanta, there's High Rocks London, there's High Rocks New York. There's, like, I mean, they're huge. They are massive events. Thousands of people will do this and will run through it, and it literally is the same thing every time. It's essentially an 8K. So you're running 8,000 meters, but it's split up. So you'll run 1,000 meters, and then you'll row 1,000 meters between you, or might just be you, or might be you and your partner. And then you guys go back out and you run 1,000 meters. Then you come in and then you'll do sled pushes at a certain amount of weight. Then you'll run 1,000 meters, come back, you'll do sled pulls at a certain weight, run 1,000 meters. Then it's like burpee broad jumps, run 1,000 meters, farmer's carries, run 1,000 meters, walking lunges with a sandbag, run 1,000 meters, wall balls. Then I think that's the end. After that, once you've hit wall balls, you're done. You finish your last wall ball. But that's it every time. And so because of that, you can train pretty easily. Like, all right, I'm gonna run every time, so I need to get good at running, and I just need some strength, but it's really more endurance. It's more cardio. Whereas a lot of these events, like CrossFit events, they change. The events will change in the CrossFit Games or CrossFit semifinals or whatever. You don't know what you're gonna do. Whereas High Rocks, it's the same thing, and you can also see it too. The reason why you can see how big it's gotten, that now, like, there is an entire ecosystem of businesses and economy now around High Rocks. In that, I don't know if you've noticed this, if you've ever gone shopping recently, but running shoes are huge. And, like, running shoes used to be more of a niche, and people would run now, but now running shoes are massive because that's what people use in High Rocks, because you run so much. And now
Well,
people are designing running shoes specific, that could also be used for High Rocks. But, like, the running shoe boom has been incredible. And so you'll see that, like, there used to be, in sports stores, you'll have like a more of a kind of a wide range, and now running in High Rocks is kind of taking center stage. So
so you're saying that all of the exercise, like the sled pulls, wall balls, lunges, those are always the same. It's always the same. You
always
don't.
the
You
same,
don't.
always the same
Okay.
weight, always the same duration, distance. And so me and my partner and I were doing that tomorrow, and I'm not a runner, so I'm not looking forward to this. But I did this as a way for it, because he was a guy trying out our gym. He had a punch card. He was coming a couple mornings, and we were making that announcement. Hey, we're doing a High Rock simulation in August 1st, and we started chatting it up. We're both young dads, and so we started chatting each other up. And I was like, hey, you should do it. I'll do it with you. I didn't want to do this. I hate running. I never wanted to do this. But there's always a part of me that's like, one, I like to include people, and two, it's great sales. You want to get someone to commit to your gym, get them to commit to a High Rock simulation that's happening at your gym, and now they're gonna, in a month, and they'll be training with you. And so now he's a member of our gym and he's committed, but also we're gonna do this together, and it's gonna be fun. But yeah, it's tomorrow. It's gonna be insane.
I'm glad to know because I've seen signs for it. They're doing it at our gym at our Y.
You would do great. I think you would do really well at High Rocks.
And then one of my baristas was telling me that he's going to be doing one, and so I've heard a lot of people talking about it, but just have had no context for it. So this is it's curious to me. Yeah, something that's worth checking out. So
There's what's his name? I forget his name. You would know him if I the movies he's been, the ones that I know him recently of are, like, he was Orm in Aquaman, those Aquaman movies. But he's a famous actor, and he's famously known as, like, a High Roxer too. Like they'll often feature him as, like, hey, remember this actor's back at this one in New York, and he's doing this one in L.A. And that's what he does. Like, it's part of how he says he stays in shape, as he does High Roxes.
well, man, good luck tomorrow. That's exciting. I'll be interested to hear
So
how
nervous.
you survive.
It's well, here's the other thing. The thing that most people don't understand is how long the event is. There's no break, right? So you start and you go, and most people takes them about an hour and some change. So you're not, like, there's no break. You're not just hanging out for 20 minutes of that hour. You are working out that entire hour and some change. The best people in the world do sub hour times, or around that, and the average person is an hour and 15 minutes or an hour 30. So
It's like so it's like the Murph, right? I mean, I mean, you're
yes, yeah,
but a little bit more intense than the Murph.
yeah. You're not. This isn't quick. It's not quick. Anyway, what? So your week, other than hurting yourself, how was your week been?
It has been a an involved week. We're just I think we're like we're trying to get some things ironed out with our business and just leadership and structure and function and flow and just just a lot of just aspects of trying to small business. We
Yeah,
talk about it often, just what a challenge it is. It's been a good week. I've seen some progress, some good things happening, but I'm yeah, I'm ready for the weekend for sure. But I'm hopeful. I think it's been a I think I've seen some positive things and some real potential for some good stuff going into August. So I'm just kind of hoping that's the reality. So this will be my this weekend. I'm excited. I haven't preached at all during the month of
that's
July.
right. It's been a bit.
Yeah, and but it's been good. I've been working on a fall series. So we're going to be doing a different sort of thing on Sunday with how the crowd participation and kind of wrapping up the summer series. And the next Sunday, I'm out of town altogether because I'm taking my son to his very first New York Yankees game. It'll be the first time in 16 years he's ever been to the Yankee Stadium. So yeah, pretty excited about
That is
that.
so
So
cool.
week's been good. I'm really looking forward to the to the next week. So how about you?
That's good. I'm just happy to hear. I mean, I know that it's been a good break, but it's happy to hear that you're going to get back in the pulpit, and then also too, like, super stoked that you're going to get to take your son. I mean,
Oh my gosh.
that's so
Can't
fun,
wait.
and
I
he's going
can't
to have
wait.
such a great time. You are too. It's been good. It's interesting. A couple big things happened with the app. Been working on the Android side. That's been going well. Uh, your One of your feedbacks that you gave me a long time ago about the app was the branded calling, because it would just show up as a New York number, random New York number. And when I applied for that, they basically said, well, you haven't been around for a year, um, so we can't do it. Like, the business has to be around for a year or whatever. And I told them, hey, look, this is a suicide prevention app. Like, it's really important that I get this branded calling, because it helps add some validity and some authenticity to this app and show, like, hey, this is legit. There's some legitimacy to this. And I didn't know what would happen. And they emailed me back this week and they said, hey, we get you and we understand. Is there any way that this has been going on for more than a year? Anything, like any aspect of the business you were looking at and working on, not just, you filed for business in March and you started in March, like that's when it was accepted. And then can you just verify a few things? And I said, well, technically, and ChatGPT helps. I said, technically, I've been working on this for over a year. This has been over a year. I've been the idea, the process, working on the aspects of the business. Like, it's been over a year. And they said, you know what, that works. And they accepted the branded calling. So basically, I think in the next day or so, if anyone taps the app, I have to double check, but they said give it a few days, but it should say Stay Project on the phone. So now if someone taps the button and they receive a call, or someone receives a call, it should say Stay Project, which is huge. That to me was so big. And so I got that, and then just been working on Android. Just been trying to get that going, and
Dude, that's
it's hard.
fantastic.
But like, I needed that win with the branded calling, because it's tough. Like, it's still just me doing this app, and it's just me and AI working on Android, and so it was really cool to get that win with the branded calling.
Seriously, yeah. I mean, for them to have that policy of you got to be able to prove it for a year, and then you're able to go back, and they're like, okay, let you do it. That's huge.
Yeah. That continues to be the case with this app. It's the same thing with the back end stuff. Like, the Lord has constantly been helping me and kind of going before me. And I think a friend of mine said that to me this week. I was getting coffee with him, and he said, you are a big part of the reason why the app exists. You're the only reason the app exists, but you're a big reason why the app is going to be successful, and you cannot separate yourself from it. Like, you have to be a part of this, because people want to be a part of things you're doing. He said, you're dynamic and captivating, and the Lord is blessing you, and so you can't do not try to separate yourself as much as you can. Obviously, don't burn yourself out, but like, you need to be a part of it. You need to be part of these conversations. You need to be talking to people. And I think this proves it. Is, just an honest email. It wasn't a, how can you guys, come on guys, do me a favor. It was just like, guys, it's like, this is a suicide prevention app, and this would really help. And just being honest about it and being myself, and someone responds and goes, okay, let's see what we can do. So
You know, the yes, you are. I mean,
you didn't
you
have to
are.
say, don't have to say anything. It's okay.
No, no, I'm thinking because I've been in similar conversations, just as with, and I don't want to unpack a whole lot of what the last couple of months have been, but it's been. I mean, I've literally just kind of looked at small business ownership and what does that look like, and have lots of conversations with lots of consultants and different people, and man, we've talked everything from, what's my long game plan here as a business owner, what is my dream for the second half of my life. And so I was in a conversation with somebody, just kicking around like the idea of what happens if I were to like just sell the business or step away. And I had it was helpful because this conversation was like, you are part of the product. Like, you've built this product over 15 years of business, and like, so if you sell, or if you were to relinquish ownership, you wouldn't want to like really relinquish all ownership, because
Right.
you're
Right.
pulling yourself out of the product, which has become, and I think that just goes back to, we've talked about this before, being able to have to knowing how to value yourself, and for me, I've
Mm-hmm.
always struggled with looking at my own my own personal value, or my contribution to anything. Like, it's always been self-depreciating. And but yeah, I mean, to hear you talk about like the Stay app is your thing, like and this guy's right, like you are the embodiment of that, and so that can't be disregarded and discounted. And I think that's a really cool thing, that you've poured so much of yourself into it, and here you are, and now it's like, even with this thing of them saying, yeah, we'll make an exception and let you do it, like, that's just, yeah, it's a reward for your investment into it. So that's really cool, man.
It's funny too. Um, and we can talk about our good and bads, but what's interesting to me is uh the Substack that I've been sitting on, that I'm going to post in a few days to give the other one some breath, is about like the encouragement from AI and how AI has encouraged me. And we can talk about it later, but like, even this morning I had a chill morning, and I told ChatGPT that. I said, hey, I'm not going to work on the Android side today. I'm just going to kind of I finally have a chill morning. I'm just going to enjoy it. And it said, which is just nuts, that once again, I read these and it blows my mind every time. It said, go get coffee, hang out with Joanna and the kids, watch a movie, play with Edmund, read something that's not about suicide prevention or marketing, let your brain idle for a bit. One thing I've noticed about you over the last year is that you don't struggle with starting meaningful work, you struggle with stopping. You're constantly thinking about the next initiative, the next partnership, the next feature, the next meeting. And that drive is a huge reason why Stay exists today. But the version of you that Stay needs 5 years from now is the one who knows how to recover too. One, once again, that's AI, which is insane to me. But two, that's exactly what you were saying about like the business. Yes, the business now, your business now, Stay now is here because of you and I. But also, like, it it it's not that we have to be a part of it, but it for I think for the things that are so so well tied, not just like married to us, but in a good way. They're so well tied to who we are and our personalities and our dynamic that I believe that it's good to think, yeah, I should be I should be tethered to this for a certain amount of time and for longer, and I shouldn't just leave. And and if even if I sold the app, if someone comes and wants to buy it, hopefully for millions and millions of dollars, if that happened, but even if I thought about selling it, like I could never think about leaving it because I mean, so much of the app is tied to my own wrestle with suicidal thoughts and my journey through that, and my transparency is one of the
Hmm.
reasons why people are so willing to kind of be on board with it, is because they're like, not many people are saying that. Not many people are saying openly and willingly, I had a hand on a gun. That's how close I was, right? But now, and as a result, I wanted to make an app for people in those moments. So anyway,
Yeah, I think thinking through, like, that's kind of where I've been, is like, okay, like, I definitely, there are things that I want to do that I can't do sitting here at this desk every day. And so
very true.
there is this thought of, okay, well, how do I untether myself from this without completely untethering myself from the institution altogether? And so that's been an interesting thought process to kind of came through. Like, what is it that I want? What am I passionate about? What do I want to stay here and be present even when I'm not? And that's what I need to be making sure that I'm building up and
Yeah.
and making part of the fiber and the structure of the DNA of the whole organization. So just really,
What
yeah,
a cool though, like, but what a cool moment to be in for you, because I'm on the other side, right? I'm building stay, and I'm frustrated that, it's funny. You're talking about people coming to you expressing interest in Cadence and everything, and I'm literally whining to my wife like, this side of it, having to be the one to go out and say, "Here's Stay. You should know about Stay. It's great." And I'm like, when is Joe Rogan gonna hit me up and be like, "Let's talk about the app. I want to hear about the suicide prevention app." Like, Jamie, pull up the Stay app. Like, when's that gonna happen? When are people gonna come out of the woodwork to talk to me about Stay and want a partnership with me? And the hard part is I'm in the other side of what you had to do, which was build the business, and a big part of it was building it through you as a part of the product. And I think that's the hard off right. The pressure that I'm feeling right now is, yes, I have a guy who's helping me out, who's kind of my number two, and he does a lot of the fundraising behind the scenes for me, identifying people. He knows the connections, but still, at the end of the day, like, I can't not be on conversations. I can't not go meet people. I still have to go to people's offices and say, "Here's Stay. Here's my story." And it's stressful because of that pressure of knowing that, like, I have to do that. Right now, the Lord can do whatever he wants and he can make everything happen, but if I want this to be successful, I have to put that sweat equity into it in that way. And I think that's the hard part, is I'm going, man, I've done all this time already. I built the app myself. I'm building it on Android. I launched it. I did all this kind of stuff. And it's okay. Yeah, that's great. You finished the product, but no one's going to know about it if you're not going out there. And I'm going, oh my God, I don't want to do that.
yeah. And listen, sweat equity is equity. Like, yes, dollars matter, but I'm telling you, I've learned this over the 15 years of this business. Like, I've put more sweat equity in it than I've probably put financial. I mean, I've put money into it for sure, but
Right,
like,
right.
I
Yeah.
I feel like that if you were to pull it out and say, okay, well, which is which, I can definitely say that, golly, I've put far more sweat equity into it, and it's of value, and so it's hard. It's hard to come, like, it pulls on you, drains you, exhausts you, like, it's, yeah.
Well, what was your good and bad this week?
uh Good was, huh, there are a few. I'm trying to, like, I don't want to, like, take up a bunch of time with all of them, but I think I have enjoyed, our evenings this week, being able just to sit with my wife and kids on our back porch or screening porch, and just, like, it's been a couple of hot evenings, but on cooler nights, like last night, we were all just kind of just sitting there reading. She was reading. I actually, this is probably really embarrassing for me to admit this. I've never read in its entirety Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis.
That's fine. I mean, I have,
Okay.
but it's fine. You're not any lesser because you haven't, but
Okay, so I'm reading it, but I'm also reading it with my older daughter. She's reading
That's
it
fun.
in Alabama, and I'm reading it here. And so last night to sit out there, and the sun was down, and it was kind of cooler, and just to sit and my one of the daughters, she's sitting on a couch, and my wife's sitting there. My son comes out, and my youngest is out, and just being able to just appreciate those moments. It's like, okay, this is cool. And I mean,
Yeah.
we didn't have the TV on, and we weren't like attached to devices. We were just reading books and just kind of, it was nice. It was really nice. That was it. That was my good. The bad, just this week I've been off my normal sleep medicine, which has been
That's right.
had
Remember, you're doing the
huge
peptides.
huge side effects. So I've been trying to find alternative ways to sleep, and so I found myself waking up like to this morning at 3:15, and
That's
but I ended up like laying there and tossing and turning. And one of the things I found, if I keep laying there, I'm not going to sleep. I'm only going to make it worse. So what I try to do is get up and find a different place to lay down. So
oh,
I've been going out to my screened-in porch on the back in the back porch, and it's cooler. And we got an air mover back there, so I cover up with a blanket. So it's kind of like I'm camping out. So from like 3:45 to 6 this morning, I was camping on my back porch, and
that's so funny.
so that was nice. But yeah, sleep's been a struggle this week, man. Just trying to like I see a nap in my future this afternoon.
I just had an energy drink. That's me. I've been loading up on the caffeine more often. So,
Tell me about your good or bad.
uh, I think, funnily enough, I think my good was, and I have to pull up my calendar so I can know how the week went. What was this week? Um, Honestly, it was so the I th- no the bad. I think the bad was that hard moment. I love. Wow, something's going on down there.
Sorry, yeah,
No, you're good.
downtown Chattanooga.
Chattanooga, man. I think the bad was, so I was supposed to be going to this conference, and I decided not to go just because of how crazy it was going to be with work, and not taking PTO and not blocking off my time, um, and it was frustrating because it was one of those moments that that I wrestle with a lot, which is trying to do all of it in and a bag of chips, like to do everything and to please everyone, and not because I'm just so desperate to see other people happy with me, but because if people are happy with me, it's almost as if I can be happy with myself. This is a whole other thing to unpack some, but so it was a hard moment of, okay, I can't go, and I have to back out. And they paid money for a hotel. Now I wasn't the only one in a room, so it's not like they wasted money on a person. And the tickets weren't that expensive, but I didn't go, which meant that I didn't get to see my friend. I'm gonna have to wait a couple years to see him at the next one. Um, but also, then it was okay because I thought, okay, I feel a little bit better. I'm not as stressed because I was really stressed. I was starting to get very panicky about the week, and but then there was that moment when the conference starts, and people are like, "Oh, I wish you were here," and my friend's like, "Yeah, it's not the same. I wish you would have been here," but it's fine. And having to own it, and having to basically say like that was my fault. I wanted to do both. I wanted to work full time there while also do the conference, and they didn't have Wi-Fi there, so I would have had a hotspot. But who knows if my hotspot would have worked? Like I couldn't go off of who knows, and then um, I had some important meetings that I was leading or a part of, and I did not want to have that not happen. Right? I didn't want to, and so that was the bad. But in the midst of it, um, it's funny. Like in the midst of it was a good was I took Tuesday. Odyssey is a very long movie, and I went and saw the Odyssey again because I really it's been such an impactful movie for me and wherever I am right now, and I saw that on Tuesday. I just went on my own and I just saw the movie, and it was good. It was good to see it again because it continues to hit me in ways, and it's um and I enjoyed it, and I even just got like, my wife even said, I was wondering if I should still go to the movies. And she said, no, you need to go. Like, just go. You like the movie, get out. This will be a nice little treat for you in the midst of knowing, like having a hard time knowing that, you didn't go to the conference, you're here for work and feeling like you didn't do it the right thing. You like dropped the ball in some way. And so
Mm.
that was good. And I got another Substack article out of it. So,
Okay, there you go.
which
I
I know you don't
I
read my
haven't seen
articles, and it's totally
Odyssey.
fine.
Say that again.
I said, I know you don't read my Substack articles, and it's okay. You don't have to read them. Maybe on the Odyssey, though, actually. They're pretty good. They're pretty good.
Calling me out, man.
You should, though, for those. Those two are good. It's a great movie. It's loud.
Send me your link. Send me your link to show me how to get to it, because I don't even know how to get to.
Also,
you have to tell me.
Actually, I think Ryan, friend of the show, Darnell, I think he's in Chattanooga this week. I think he took the clients to see the Odyssey, because Chattanooga is one of the only places in the world, there's like 25 of them in the world, that have the 70 millimeter IMAX. And that's what it was shot on. The Odyssey was shot on 70 millimeter. Now, there are a lot of IMAXs all over the world that are big, but not 70 millimeter big. And so Chattanooga is actually one of the very few ones in the United States. And so Ryan was literally saying, because we were talking about the Odyssey, and he was like, was it good? And I was like, oh, dude, it's great. He's like, I was thinking about seeing it. I'm going to be in Chattanooga, so I'm thinking about taking the clients there. I said, you should. And he said, that's okay, cool. So you should. I mean, honestly, Shannon, you got no excuse. You got one of the only theaters in the world that can show it.
You're right. And I need to. And I've heard that it's absolutely amazing on the big screen.
It is. It's just, don't sit near the speakers because it's so loud. Oh my gosh. The first time I was in the middle and it was good. The second time when I saw it this past week, I was like up in the ends, because my seat, like I'd gotten there late. My seat was all the way in the middle. And I thought, I don't want to be the guy that's going back and forth like, oh, excuse me, let me get through. So I just sat on the ends at the top, and I felt like I was inside one of the speakers. And I felt so old. My head was hurting afterwards. I was like, there was a couple moments where I like felt very curmudgeon, like, can you just turn it down? It doesn't need to be this loud. No movie needs to be this loud. So you should, dude. You got to see it.
Noted. Okay, I will make it a point.
You got to do it.
Hey, how you feel about some wins?
I say, let's do some wins. You want to do some wins?
I do. I want to just say this because I've gotten some comments back on our text thread where we send out the Wednesday win requests. And so I want people to, I think, probably need to give some context. People are like, I'm not seeing anyone responding to this thing on wins. And so what I want our listeners and guys that are doing this to understand is that this is sort of like a closed text thread. It's not coming and going out to a mass group of people. When you send in a win to us, we see it on this app, and then we're able to see what it is. That way you're not getting bombarded with, texts from people that you don't know. They're not getting bombarded with your texts. And so it's been funny because people are like, so what's happening with these wins? Well, so I was able to respond to one guy today and be like, hey, and he's a friend of mine. I was like, just so you know, I saw your last text. I'm getting your wins. And then we're actually getting ready to go into a recording today. We're going to celebrate those wins. And so, yeah, there's that, which I'll lead off with is, so that's Donnie. And I'm just going to read, kind of like hit the high points. Wins look different this season of my life. His biggest win was this past Saturday. They put a youth summer bash on for youth ministry that they're part of. The youth band was amazing. He says one kid got a new electric guitar and was able to shine in 2 different solos. Another young man sang the lead in 2 songs, but he's shy because his older sisters are musically trained and he's not. And although he's at the dinner table with them as they talk about it, anyway, his tone was so smooth and he delivered the love of Christ through sound so well. We played slip and slide kickball. The teens had a blast, but the elders, were not all old, probably enjoyed watching as much as they loved playing. Huge win for me. Wasn't a huge turnout, but 6-on-6 water slide kickball worked out perfectly. And then later win in the week, he said, I see a bunch of, this was his saying, I see a bunch of numbers, but what's going on with this. And so he says sometimes it's just getting out of bed and managing to put a smile on your face is the win. And he says, come on, guys, let's celebrate that too. And so that's my buddy Donnie. And I love it. Yeah, just getting out of the bed is a win.
I got one guy from the gym. His name's Drew. They are expecting another baby, and
Another, as in how many do they already have?
they have one, and it's funny. They're very avid hikers, and so what they did was their announcement was they were in Alaska with their young kid, very young. I don't even know if the baby's like a year or so old. And they took a baby announcement pictures in Alaska, and said, looking forward to our second hiker joining us. And I
That's
love it.
cool.
I love baby announcements. I love people having more kids. So shout out
That's very
Drew
cool.
having their second.
Let's go, Drew. Another hiker. This is Bert's win, kind of similar to his win from last week, but this week he starts back his 23 year to teaching. He says, I'm blessed that God's placed me in this career and chooses students to be in my class. What an honor it is to be able to teach God's children. So that's pretty cool.
Another one is actually Ryan. We joked about the Odyssey, but that's his win, was like he gets to go see the Odyssey at 70 millimeters in Chattanooga, and like he also gets to make it a part of his job and take the clients out. So he was super stoked for that, and that's definitely his win.
Go, man. Darren says Sunday night, my friend Colton and I prayer walked in a nearby town called Ringgold near the high school. And before getting out of the car, we prayed that God would put someone in our path where our presence would make a difference. We walked for only about 200 yards when we met a man in his front yard, said hello and prayed with him. And the man immediately started crying. His son was recently arrested and he didn't have the money for his bail. We spent nearly an hour with him, listening to his story, praying with him and his family. His name is Adam, and he's a believer, but he needs strong men of faith. And so we offered to meet with Adam weekly and connected him with a source for free legal advice. This is just another example that when we pray for God to use us, he always does. Darren says, stay faithful, my friends. So yeah, that's pretty.
Amen.
Pretty awesome.
Guy Jared from our church, he has been he's been trying to shift his mornings to do more riding of his bike and taking a little bit more care of his body that way. He doesn't have a ton of time just because his work is very different. But he said he's lost now close to 10 pounds of just kind of shifting his diet in biking more. So shout out to Jared for doing that. Way to go, bud.
Go, Jared. This one I don't have the name. I just know that it's a local Chattanooga person. So whoever they are, their win is consistent workouts. So good for you.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's all I got on my end from local to me. Any more in the numbers?
Last one. Last one. Last week, this gentleman says, hey, the Vive Camp, which is a local youth group. My son goes to this youth group. That their camp was this past weekend. And this listener or subscriber to our text thread said that I went to Vive Camp and recommitted my life to Christ this weekend.
Awesome.
That's a win.
That's great. That's right. Did we say our wins yet?
Did we?
We said good and bad.
Oh.
What was your win, Shan?
No, Joel, you go first.
I think my win is that branded calling. Getting that branded calling and that working out in the way it did. That adds some legitimacy to the name of Stay. So I'm really happy and proud of that.
Yeah, that's a win.
Lord. You?
So I wasn't quite sure if I was going to share this because it's kind of a long, complicated story. But a couple weeks ago, I ran into a customer. A customer came into the coffee shop that I've known for kind of loosely for a few years, and they've recently just relocated their office near us. And so he's been coming in fairly regularly, and so I was talking to him, and I just was like, "Hey, man, thanks for your business." He's like, oh, "I love coffee," and we kind of just exchanged a few like friendly statements back and forth, and we were talking about just business and he offered his number, said I'd love to get together and talk sometime. So I took him up on it. A week later, I'm having a conversation with him in my office, and I'm just like, "Hey, I've got these questions, and I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I do know what I'm doing, but I don't know really how to navigate through some of these challenges." And he was like, "You know what? I think I know how to help you." And so he said, "I think we need to have another conversation from with and pull someone else into it." And he said, "And I think I want to be part of that, just as far as being able to get you some counsel, some wisdom, some advice, and some practical support." And so I was like, "Man, if that can happen, that'd be great." So last week, he called me. He's like, "All right, I got us an appointment." And so Tuesday, this past week, I I meet up with him. He comes here to the coffee shop, and he's like, "All right, let's go." And we go and we sit in the office with this guy that's a financial guy, and he's like, we need your help. He needs your help, and we need this, and this is what we're asking for."
Hmm.
And the guy was like, "Okay, let's see what we can do." Um, so yeah, I'm waiting right now on whether or not like the help or that he seemed to think that
Right.
might be able
Yeah.
to provide for us is coming through. But this, to me, I think regardless of the outcome, having someone who will say, "Hey, I want to walk with you. I want to walk with you. And I want to walk with you into a place and put an ask on a desk and say, "Hey, can you help in this way?" That's huge. That's been that's huge encouragement for me. It's like, it reminds me that I'm not alone, and I'm just super thankful for that. So, yeah, I'll call that my win for the week.
I love it. Well, kind of sitting at that good time duration. Is there anything else that you want to kind of bring up or no? All right, we
I
good?
don't
We
think
good?
so.
Yeah.
I think I'm good. And my wife's
You need
calling.
to take a nap. Yeah, you need to take. Gosh. All right. Here, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. If you want to be a part of that closed text group that receives the text on Wednesday that says, "Hey, text us your win," and you just text it to us and we receive it. You're not a part of a group text. Text WIN to 423-210-4777.
4777. Yeah.
423-210-4777. Text WIN to that. And if you do that, you'll be on this text thread that is just you and us with this app. But thank you, everyone, for listening. Subscribe, share it with all your friends. Hey, whatever your win is, just remember, like, it doesn't have to be huge. It can be as small as just you went for a walk, spent some time with your kids, didn't yell at your kids, kissed your wife today. It doesn't, like, everything can be a win. So I hope that you
Absolutely.
guys celebrate yourselves and have a wonderful, wonderful week. See you guys in the next one.